Hello everybody and welcome to another Vintage Cube video where we have a almost comically good blue-white pack to start. I think we're taking Fractured Identity. This is just one of my top 10 cards in the entire format. It's so good. But there's also Palace Jailer, which is top 15 cards in the entire format, and it's only one color. Also, like, mono white's always open and blue white's not necessarily always open, but I still think I'm taking the Fractured. There's also Miscalculation, Consecrated Sphinx, Resto, all as like solid first pickable cards. I also think both of these two blue gold cards are first pickable. Wait, we have blue white, blue red, blue black, and blue green. That's kind of hilarious. Yeah, we'll take the Fractured though. I really hate to pass all this good blue white stuff when we're taking a blue white card, but just based on power level, we got to go with this. And I'm in for this. Fractured Identity into Teferi is a very fun start, in my opinion. These cards are both great. Not as much that we're passing here. We're passing Time Spiral, but we're probably not a Time Spiral deck. Let's just take the Teferi. Okay, this pack is not nearly as strong for us. There's no good blue stuff. The only white spell is Lingering Souls, which will be pretty good if we're playing Esper, which is totally possible, but still, that's not a card that I like to third pick. There's a couple lands, but they don't really help us. This is the perfectly bad land if you're blue-white. It makes all three of the other colors. We could take, we could just take this land if we think we're going to be 5-color. Like, Bloodchief's Thirst is a solid interactive spell. There's also Sunbaked Canyon if we want to be Jeskai. But that's really not a card I like to third pick. Could speculate on Stoneforge and take Batterskull. Or just take the Lingering Souls. Honestly, I think I'll just take the Lingering Souls. Not thrilled with this pick at all. But these cards are really, really strong. I want to be able to play blue-white if possible. Okay, so it looks like blue-white is not the most open lane, but these are super powerful. So let's go potentially Esper and take Shriekmaw here. We already have Lingering Souls pulling us towards black, and black looks fairly open here. We could take the Treasure Cruise, but I don't love this card. I think it's really good in some decks, but it's only good if you have, like, a lot of cheap instants and sorceries, basically, like cantrips, cheap spell removal spells, discard spells. We could get there, but we're not there yet. I'll just take the solid removal. Okay. I like seeing all the blue in this pack. I think I'm going to take the Memory Deluge. Time Warp is pretty good. Ancestral Vision is, I think, worse than Memory Deluge. Specifically, having this on turn 1 is better, but Memory Deluge is much better at pretty much all other stages. There's also Bone Shards, which is fine, but yeah, I'll take the Deluge here. Okay. Spellseeker does not grab anything yet. Looks like sort of green. I mean, there's a lot of green in this pack at least, but I think we just take Repeal here. Not a card I'm thrilled about, but it's a solid playable. Okay, tough decision now between Oust and Gideon Jura. And I think, just when in doubt, take the cheaper, more interactive card. I think that's going to be the tiebreaker here. Yeah, let's take the Oust. Close pick. Gideon is strong. Okay, pretty easy Wall of Omens now. We're just solidly Esper mid-range / control. I also really like how Wall plays with Teferi. You can play, like, if you're playing against a slow deck, you can play Wall of Omens on turn 2, then Teferi bounce your own Wall, and then replay the Wall, and that means the minus of Teferi essentially draws 2 cards. Alright, I like the start. The lack of fixing is a bit concerning, but it's still quite early. We definitely have really high power level. We have some solid card draw, some good removal, like a sticky threat. No counter magic yet, and no fixing yet, but we're still quite early. Alright, our first pack came around, and while we're not quite so lucky as to wield the Palace Jailer, we do still see 4 different cards that would be really good for us. I think we're taking the Strix here. I like Resto with Wall of Omens and Shriekmaw, but Baleful Strix is just a more powerful card, and it also plays really well with Teferi. And now I think we'll take Loran of the Third Path. I like Ophiomancer in some matchups at least, but I think Loran's a bit better. I like that we have a lot of good enter the battlefield effects to trigger with Teferi. And I do wish we had the Restoration Angel. That would look pretty good here, but I think this is fine. Now we'll take Bloodchief's Thirst. And, Infernal Grasp or Treasure Cruise. I think I will take the Cruise now. We got some of the cheap cards that I want to pair with it. And we also just took like Bloodchief's Thirst. We have Bloodchief's Thirst and Shriekmaw already. And Oust. Yeah, let's take the Cruise. Cryptbreaker, not play it. Putrid Imp, not play it. Alright, so we got 12 spells that are all very strong. So that's a pretty good place to be. Oh, and we even get the last pick Gideon. Great. The lack of fixing is definitely concerning, but again, we have time. I'm going to prioritize it very highly in packs 2 and 3, though. Alright, what's the best possible card we could open here? Probably... This deck doesn't need Ancestral Recall as much as some decks, although, of course, it would be good in any deck. I think Time Walk would probably be a bit better in this shell. Okay, no Time Walk or Ancestral, but some good options. Unfortunately, Steam Vents probably doesn't help us. I think we just take Remand here. Tinker could get there, but we don't have anything that works with it yet. And, like, Thraben Inspector's good, but just nowhere near as strong as Remand. We could do some sort of pivot to Reanimator, but I don't think that's right. Let's just take the really nice interactive spell. Oh, and we get oh my goodness. Okay, so a lot of good options here. There's Rafine's Tower, which is the perfect land for this deck. There's Mana Crypt, which is by far the most broken card, but this is not really the best deck for Mana Crypt. Sol Ring would be much better here because it's looking like we're going to be a little slow. Like there will be, if we go like turn 1, like land, Mana Crypt, Loran, turn 2, Memory Deluge, turn 3, Gideon, then that's just like insane. We should be able to win even despite the damage that this will deal to us, but we're still, the downside is so significant here. We do have to Fairy to pick it up. Alternatively, there's Dismember as good spot removal, 3 good blue cards. I would take the Force of Will first here. Force of Will would be really nice in this deck, but I think I just need to take the Tower here. I feel a little silly passing Mana Crypt, but again, this card is just not that good in more controlling decks. This kills you in 7 turns, or I guess, dealing 1.5 damage on average, but it's just such a liability in a lot of matchups. Yeah, I'm going to pass it. Hopefully we get to wheel one of the blue cards there. Wow. Okay, we passed Mana Crypt and then got past a Sol Ring. This is a 3rd pick Sol Ring. This I'll take. It's not that we can't use the mana well. We definitely can. I just didn't want to be taking 3 damage every other turn, but that's kind of insane that we got past Mana Crypt and Sol Ring. Okay, what do we want here? Kaito is one option. We're not Nuna's Prowler deck. Jetmir's Garden does not help us. Esper Sentinel is pretty strong, but not really what this deck is wanting. Like, Esper Sentinel is better when you are a faster deck. Murktide's not that good. Yeah, let's just take the Kaito. And this is a pretty solid Kaito deck, actually. We have a reasonable creature count. It's good with Lingering Souls. Both because looting and discarding souls is good value, and because souls gives you good creatures to attack and turn this plus into card advantage. Whoa, late Ragavan and late Lightning Bolt. But I don't think I want to pivot here with bad fixing. Yorion is kind of interesting. We could potentially get there. Like, we'll have lots of playables, but I'm still taking Elspeth here. Elspeth is a really solid pickup. Ooh, okay. I think we've got to take the Ashiok. Damnation and Gideon are both really nice, and so is Glenn, honestly. One nice 4-drop in each of our colors, but I think Ashiok is a bit better for us. If we have Sol Ring, turn 2 Gideon is better, but yeah, I think Ashiok is just so powerful we can't really pass it. Okay, a lot of stuff I want here. Hymn to Torok, Winds of Abandon, but gotta be disciplined and take the Concealed Courtyard. Not close. Okay. I think we'll take Thirst for Discovery. This card is unfortunately great in this deck because we're gonna have so many basics. Yeah, we'll take that. Plays really well with Treasure Cruise. Okay, I think I will take the Blood Crypt here. None of these other cards seem very good. Okay, this was a pack that was really good before. It's not as good now. I think we do take the Muldrifter. I would much rather have Force of Will, but Muldrifter is good too. This is a really good deck for Sol Ring. Lots of good things with colorless pips. Okay, I don't think I'm interested in Blooming Marsh. or Winter Orb. I'll take History of Benalia for the board. Okay, Murktide Regent, not the worst. We can bring it in against, like, Mono Red. This deck is looking pretty sweet. We're going to have to make a lot of cuts. I would honestly love to wield the Yorion. I think I would probably be a Yorion. Well, I guess if we're playing Yorion, we're less likely to draw Soul Ring. So we might just want to... Something that I like to do when I have Yorion is main deck a more streamlined build, because against anything that's at all linear, you want to just be able to be consistent. These cards are good for us. Yeah, you want to be able to be consistent. Alright, we don't get the Yorion, so it doesn't matter here. But then I like to, in like control mirrors, side into Yorion, and just having the extra threat is important, and being a little bit less consistent is fine. And also, as a tiebreaker, having 60 cards in your library means you always win the mill game. Like, you're very solid against Ashiok, and if you just trade down resources with the opponent, you will have more resources at the end. But again, Yorion did not come around. We did wheel Winds of Abandon, which is actually great. I'm very happy to main deck this card. Okay, Preordain is great. Coalition Relic is great. Solitude, but easy Watery Grave. At this point, we already have 21 spells I'm thrilled about playing. We're taking lands over almost anything. Like, if it was Watery Grave versus Ancestral Recall, I would take the Ancestral, but there's probably only 3 or 4 cards that I would take over Watery Grave here. Okay, there's Kiki-Jiki, and we have this Splinter Twin. That's kind of funny, but I don't think that's correct. I think we just take the Mana Drain here. It'll be a little bit tough on the mana, but the power level is just so high on this card. Plus, we can use the mana really effectively. Like, Mana Drain, their 3-drop into turn 3 Elspeth is going to win pretty much every game. Okay, great pack for us here. I think we're taking Arid Mesa. It cannot find Watery Grave, but it can find Rafine's Tower. There's also Scrubland, but I think Scrubland is much more likely to wield than Arid Mesa. I would love if this could get an untapped land other than a Plains, but I think we still got to take it here. Dark Confidant would be at least a good sideboard card, although we might need to cut some of the like Treasure Cruisy cards. Council Judgment's great. Arcane Proxy, probably not going to get there for this deck, but we'll take the fetch. Very, very happy to lead this pack with 2 lands. That's kind of best case scenario, or like Mana Drain into 2 lands. Like probably some of the 3 best cards we could get here. Let's just get some more lands. A nice Hallowed Fountain here. Other than fixing, something like Spell Pierce would probably be best. Okay, Lilion is pretty strong, but I think we take the Ponder here. We're definitely much heavier blue-white. If black is a small splash, that will make the mana base better. Yeah, I'll take the Ponder. If Liliana wheels, I'll be happy, and I'll play it, but this is the right pick. Okay, Ephemerate is kind of tempting. I don't think we have quite enough stuff to make it work, but it's very, very good with Shriekmaw and Muldrifter. We could wheel the Solitude. It's good with, like, Wall. It's, like, okay with Wall and Strix, but I think we just take the Shark Typhoon. Yeah, this is like almost there, but it's not quite. Let's just take the more consistent, solid card. This is probably going to be 17 lands plus a Soul Ring. So we actually already have more spells than we can afford to play. Kind of crazy. We're going to have to make a lot of cuts. Okay, unfortunately, Wooded Foothills is the only fetch land that doesn't help us here. Literally the only one. Every single other fetch land can find Rafine's Tower. So do we want Chrome Mox or Fatal Push? Probably Chrome Mox, right? Yeah, this is a good deck for the Mox. I would take a fetch land over a Chrome Mox, a real fetch land that can find our Rafine's Tower, but unfortunately this one cannot. Okay, let's separate the wheat from the chaff. I think Treasure Cruise and Repeal are chaff. Okay. Celestial Colonnade, very nice. These cards would both be solid too, but definitely taking the land here. And Creeping Tar Pit. Wow, that's honestly 2 of the best late pickups we could get. We also could play Balance. It plays well with Chrome Mox and Soul Ring. It plays really poorly with Wall of Omens and Baleful Strix. But yeah, easy tar pit here. I'm very, very happy to have gotten 4 lands in this pack. I still think the mana base of this deck is bad. Only 6 non-basics is not enough. There's a chance, there's a chance we could wheel Scrubland. Do we want to play all of these spot removal spells? I really wish we had a board sweeper, but we do not, so we need to rely on having a lot of spot removal. Alice, Bloodchief's Thirst, Winds of Abandon, Shriekmaw. That's okay. And then we have 2 counter spells. It's fine. Okay, pretty easy preordain here. That's a really nice pickup. Okay, Twin is open. Not doing that though. Definitely not at this stage. So let's take Hangerback Walker for the board. Okay, this is kind of interesting. Dark Confidant is tempting, but I think I'm just going to take Takenuma here. Although, Dark Confidant's so good in some matchups. I think I'm still taking the Takenuma, though. We have so many good spells. An upgrade to the mana base will go a little farther. Land tax, alright. So we're definitely base blue-white. We have 13 blue cards, 9 white cards, 5 black. Okay, so we probably want at least 11 blue sources. I mean, not playing any of this stuff. All right. None of the super late wheels, but that's okay. I would have liked to see Scrubland, but I'll still take this. So Arid Mesa can only find basic plains and Rafine's Tower. That's a little awkward. Thirst for Discovery, I think with 9 basics is, or with 10 basics is enough. Oh, we need to make one more cut though. Could move Loran to the board, but I think it's going to be good. There's so many artifacts and enchantments in this format. We could potentially play 16 lands with Chrome Mox and Sol Ring. I think I'm just going to cut Thirst for Discovery, though, at least from the main deck. I don't want to have too many cards that don't really impact the board. And then, like, we can bring in, like, all the stuff against control. But yeah, I like the idea of being a little bit lower to the ground for game 1, interacting with the board more. So let's add another one of these, cut this. This would give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blue. That's passable. For black, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's fine. We could maybe even go to 7, but 8's good. And for white, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, we need more white. Okay, I'm going to cut 1 swamp for 1 plains. This mana base is definitely not perfect. I would love to have more fetch lands, but I think it's playable, and I think this deck is really sweet. See you in round 1. Alright, here we are for round 1. We're on the play against Holler Dustin, and we have a very good hand. Very fair, but just like 2-drop and a 3-drop and a 4-drop and a 5-drop, all solid value cards. Playing against probably a control deck. We'll drop the Baleful Strix into play and pass. Turn 3 Ashiok into play could just end the game. Fractured Identity is a pretty good draw. Alright, we're jamming. If you have a counterspell, you have a counterspell. If we had already seen like 2 or 3 counters that they could play here, I might be a little bit more cautious with this, but in the dark, like they can't play Mana Leak, they can't, yeah, this is a great exchange. Our 3-drop trading with Force of Will. Pitching Vendilion Click, okay. Take 1, and then next turn, it depends on what we draw, but my plan is probably to play Colonnade, and then, well, it's very close if we want to cycle Shark Typhoon for 1. It's tempting to try and hold this to get more value out of it, but we also do have a fairly mana-intensive hand. Loran of the Third Path to kill my thing. Okay. Well, if they go for this, I think this seems fine. So they kill the Strix, but then we can cycle the Shark Typhoon and block the Loran. Okay. I'm going to put Tar Pit into play first because we have enough white mana either way, and Tar Pit's the one that we could actually attack with the next turn. So this prevents them from playing like Jace Brainstorm or something like that. Alright, we'll cycle. If they want to tap the Loran to make us both draw, that's okay. We're just throwing these value plays back at each other. Balefist 6 draw, Loran, kill your thing. At the end of this day, though, we've drawn 2 cards, and we have the same number of cards in hand as we started, and they have 1 fewer. Okay, interesting choice if we want to burn the Fractured Identity here. It's not the best use of Fractured, but I think I will do it. Because this is good against Gideon. Yeah, let's just take the advantage on the board. It's always a bit of a debate on like how much you want to save your cards to get max value versus just like gaining the advantage on the board as much as possible. And I think in general, in Vintage Cube at least, just like getting value when you can is kind of a good plan, at least in the dark. You never know when your opponent's going to like have Counterspell next turn or Time Twister to take away your Fractured Identity or like some sort of weird Time Walk sequence where they just kill you. So I like just to solidify our position on the board when in doubt. Especially when we have lots more action. Okay, I'll accept this trade. It means we can't give this creature plus 3/3 in flying, but we can jump our Creeping Tar Pit if we really need to. Okay, do we just jam into all their stuff? I think I'm going to start with a Ponder. They could easily have Mystic Confluence or Cryptic Command here. These seem bad. Let's shuffle. Okay, I'm going to play a little slow. Not jam the Gideon into all their open mana. We're ahead on board right now, so we don't need to make an aggressive move. It'll also, potentially, we could find Remand or something. Okay, no such luck, so we'll just plus this. Get our second man land into play and pass. A pretty bad draw is that we played Ponder plus Wall of Omens, so we got to look at a total of 6 new cards on our turn, and didn't really get anywhere with that. Okay, Solitude. That's really not too bad. Gideon is good against the Solitude. So here we're just going to let the Elspeth take the hit. And then I'm going to play Island Gideon to play around Spell Pierce and Miscalculation. They might still be able to counter it, which would be fine. But then we can make a second 1/1 and have a good block for the Solitude. Let's play Island. Gideon Jura. Mana Leak, unfortunate. But not the end of the world. They're down to 1 card. We'll make another 1/1 and pass. And if it weren't for the manlands, I think we would still probably be ahead, but it would be close. But with 2 manlands here, we win the long game. If they pull off some sort of weird combo, that's one thing. But if they're just trying to win a long game with like value, these manlands are just going to completely take over eventually. Treachery, one of my soldier tokens. Okay. They only have 1 card. I think I'll let Elspeth go to 1 here. I want to be able to set up a double block on the Solitude. Okay, more lands is obviously not really what we wanted, but it's fine. So we'll plus. And then pass. And we're going to leave up... if they attack, we could potentially try to block with Colonnade. Or if they don't attack and play around the Colonnade block, we can just discard both of our lands to get new spells, which is not bad. They cycle Miscalc, okay. Glenlundra, okay. Don't really care about that. Okay, I'm gonna go for the block. This could be some sort of bait, but if they are using their last spell to remove this Colonnade, then we still get to trade with the Solitude. That seems fine. Block, block. Okay. Plane's not really what we wanted, but we're still in a great position. I'm not going to attack with the man lands yet. Again, when we have these two good lands in our hand to cycle. And they're at 25. If they were at like 12, we could potentially try and race. Because we can, we can, hit them with 2 4/4s with flying. But I think I'm still going to set up for a bit. They play Trinket Mage as their last card. Okay. We'll see what that's getting. If it's getting like Black Lotus or something, we don't care. If it gets Retrofit or Foundry, we will need to worry about that a little bit. Okay, Black Lotus, totally fine. Scary. It's a great card, obviously. But this is not the stage where Black Lotus is scary. All right, let's cycle this. That's a bad draw. And we'll Takenuma. So we can return a creature or a planeswalker. The card we want the most is Ashiok. But I think I'm just going to take... Well, maybe we just take the Ashiok. No, I'll take the Strix. Alright, let's play Strix. See what we draw. Okay. Do we just jam into the Glen? I think so. I don't love it, but let's oust this. And the thing is, we're not going to be able to cast these spells anytime soon. We don't have like Solitude or a good way to remove the Glen that's not a non-creature spell. So I do this. This is fine. Then do we jam the Teferi? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to hit them with the Colonnade this turn. Our Elspeth is fairly safe now, especially with the Strix blocking. So let's swing in for 8. I really do think that there's a bug where you get paired in the mirror more often. Soul Ring. Okay, I think I'm just going to play the Soul Ring. If they want to counter it, that's fine. If they don't, it means even more mana for activating our man lands. Alright, let's snipe this Glen. Oh, they don't even counter it. Weird. And they concede. Okay. So playing against Blue-White Control should be a solid matchup. Repeal is good against some things like Treachery. I think we want Thirst for Discovery. I think we want our card draw. They had some creatures, but I don't think Winds of Abandon is really where we want to be. We're on the draw. I think I like bringing in land tax over one island. I don't think this is a Chrome Mox matchup. I still kind of want to play 17 lands, though, especially if we're cutting the Chrome Mox, so maybe we do just keep this island in. Shriekmaw seems pretty good. Oust seems only okay. Maybe we cut Oust. Yeah, I think I like running like this. If we see more of their deck and they're more creature heavy than we realize, I guess they have like Elspeth, but still, Elspeth is not, like our Oust is not good against Elspeth. We'll do this. Alright, this is a hand. So, how do we want to do this? I think I'll just start with Island Soul Ring. It's the best against them having Miscalculation or something. We could play Creeping Tar Pit and then go like Soul Ring into Lingering Souls or something, but I think this seems better. I do wish I had white double blue for Memory Deluge, but we'll Ponder and then play Lingering Souls. I don't think that's really what we want. Okay, not a bad one. Still getting the souls down. Lingering Souls is great against counter magic, which they might have here. Mana Drain. Well, that's scary. They get mana here, but we have Fractured Identity on turn 3, so if they play a Planeswalker, then it's totally fine. I would love to see them slam Elspeth Sun's Champion or something. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. That's a little scarier because it untaps their lands. So if they have Miscalculation, we're in really bad shape. I think we still just jam, though. We don't really have a good backup. Like, just playing Memory Deluge and letting them untap with the Teferi. We're not going to find a better window to do this later. So, let's just hope it works. Oh, disaster. Absolute disaster. Well, I'm not going to say it's over, but it's going to be extremely hard to beat this Teferi. They're just going to be drawing so many extra cards. And we don't really have anything to do about it. We can flashback the souls and then play Memory Deluge. But the thing is, we're spending mana to draw cards, and they're making mana while they draw cards. Really strong sequence there. They had turn 2 Mana Drain into turn 3 Teferi with Miscalc up. Okay, they bounce one of my tokens. That's fine. What good answers do we have to this? And let's fire off the Deluge here just in case they have like Mystic Confluence. Okay, I mean these are good cards. We'll take Kaito and Treasure Cruise. Okay, good draw. Let's send in this at Teferi. And they might play Brazen Borrower to trade, which would be fine. Okay. So we're going to play Teferi, playing around Mana Leak. Okay, a lot of counter magic over there. But now we can play Kaito, which is actually, in this situation, the one we wanted to resolve more. Because this draws a card, threatens to draw a card every turn. Actually, maybe Teferi would be still better, but alright, this is fine. We'll get the Tar Pit into play past turn. I think we're behind here, but we're solidly in it. Their deck is really good. So much counter magic. I guess if they didn't have the mana drain into Teferi, that it wouldn't be as good. These would all just be 1-for-1s, and we could like slowly outgrind them with Memory Deluges. But now this Teferi is threatening to ultimate. That would be completely game ending. I think we need to go for the creeping Tar Pit hit. Don't love it though. Okay, so play Arid Mesa. Animate this. And if they ultimate Teferi, it's probably GG. Especially with them being at 20 life. Please work. Oh, they have the Solitude, don't they? Okay, that's quite bad. The cards are flowing on our side of the board too, but that losing the Fractured Identity hurts so bad. So we draw, and then we can play Treasure Cruise. Basic Island was the worst draw on the deck. So we have Bloodchief's Thirst as a clean answer. That's it. So if they don't ultimate the Teferi here, maybe we can find Bloodchief's Thirst off the Treasure Cruise and our draws. We also need to find an untapped black source, I guess. Okay, there is the Bloodchief's Thirst. Still no black mana, but we have a plan. And the plan is for them to not ultimate Teferi. If they get greedy and plus this again, and they don't have counter magic, then we can preordain into land, into black source, Bloodchief's Thirst, kill the Teferi. Okay, they take out our Soul Ring or Kaito. Kaito, that's fine. I really hope they plus the Teferi. They do. Okay, we're in it. We are in it. They could have just more counter magic, but they've already gone through a lot of it. So we need to find an untapped black source. Oh no. Okay, bottom, one more look. Muldrifter, okay. We could still hit it off of Thirst for Discovery. That's better than Muldrifter here. Digs deeper. Okay. Discard this. And then attempt to kill your Teferi. I mean, the shield are down. We're dead to Daze. We're dead to any counter magic. But if this resolves, we're actually ahead because then like we're even on mana. Our Electro is still high. Okay, wow. I can't believe we just survived when they could have ultimated Teferi. So our hand is stacked. We can definitely do some good moves from here. We're taking 5, but 12 is still okay. We have Gideon. We have Memory Deluge in the yard for more cards in the long game. Okay, so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gideon Jura. Do we kill Skyclave Apparition or Solitude? I think I'm going to kill the Skyclave here to get a 3/3. And then I'm just going to jam the Loran. We're not going to be able to get any value off of killing an artifact or enchantment, but that's fine. I just want to be able to be ahead on board. And we'll pass back to the opponent. You see the power of card draw here. We're like, okay, we have one specific thing we need, Bloodchief's Thirst. But then we were able to play Preordain, which lets us see 3 new cards, and Thirst for Discovery. And then we also had our draw step. So that was, in total, we saw 7 new cards on our turn. So like you could say, oh, you got lucky. But we built our deck in such a way where we could see 7 cards in one turn for a reason. Okay, I think I will start by attacking with both, see if they want to accept a trade. And then we'll probably just plus the Gideon. We're down to 11 cards in our library, so getting milled is a real consideration. With that being said, I'm still going to play the Muldrifter. Seven, 8, 9... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, yeah, I guess I'll play the land tax because there's basically no reason not to. But I might not even use it, even if we do have the chance. So if they swing, well, they have to swing with the Solitude. We'll block with Loran and not have each player draw a card. We have all the cards we need. We just need attack steps. Treachery my Loran. Okay, I think that's not important enough to counter. Oh, we also still have Ashiok in our deck, so we could still win the mill race, even though right now we have less than half as many cards in our library. So we'll block here. They'll go up to 24. Do we want to cycle this Rafine's Tower? I really am worried about getting milled, but I think it's worth it still. This Loran can force us to draw 1 extra card, but then we can use our Gideon to kill it. Yeah, I'll do this. Okay, Mana Drain seems pretty nice. I'm not going to do this. Okay, we're drawing so many cards. Not normally a problem, but I am a little scared here. Okay, I think I am going to play that. I don't want them to use this to draw any extra cards. And now we will bash for 9. Alright, they're down to 15. They are not quite dead next turn. We can hit them for 13. And we don't have any... Somehow we don't have either of our man lands yet. So the rest of our library includes Ashiok, 2 man lands, and Elspeth. So I don't think we're actually light on win conditions. It's just been a weird distribution of them this game. Oh, I guess the man land's gone. Okay, fair enough. How did that go? Yeah, I don't remember how we lost our man land, but it's fine. So let's untap with 2 counterspells. Still not using land tax. Okay. We'll send in the team. Mystic Confluence, bounce, bounce, draw. I think I'm actually going to let this resolve. Well, yeah, I'm going to let this resolve. It's kind of close, but I really want to save my mana drain for something that's essential. Like, we can still beat this. Replay Gideon. Okay, what I'm going to do here is remand my own Gideon. I don't want to give them the Force of Will back. This does put us even closer to milling. Oh, okay, that's a good draw. So let's play Swamp Ashiok. Start going to work on that library. Right now, it's going to be close, so if we're going through 4 cards a turn from them and 1 card a turn from us, it's basically a tie, but they might, first of all, they might draw cards. Second of all, we might hit relevant spells, like Loran, which we can put into play and speed up our clock. We died of something like Ancestral Recall plus Counterspell, targeting us, but assuming they can't make us draw extra cards, I think 4 turns should be plenty. Okay, they just pass. Still not using land tax. Okay, we're finding all the win conditions now. Plus targeting the opponent. Sun Titan. That's interesting. I guess we don't have that much good stuff to bring back. Unfortunately, both Kaito and Teferi are gone. How much mana do we have? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. To do everything we want, we would actually need 13, funnily enough. So we don't have the mana for Gideon plus Elspeth plus mana drain. So which do we play? I think just Gideon. Slightly less mana efficient, but it hits harder. And it's also slightly better against a board sweeper. Get the Colonnade into play and pass. So with mana drain up, I feel pretty comfortable. It's definitely not over. Man, remember back when they had Teferi at 9 loyalty? That was wild. Ugin. Okay, that's the kind of card we need to mana drain for sure. We could potentially beat it with Colonnade, but that's definitely worth the mana drain. If they counter back, it's not over, but they don't counter back, so it is over. Really solid start. We're 1-0. See you in round 2. Alright, here we are for round 2 against Matthew F72. We're on the play once again. Pretty lucky, and great hand. We can cycle Shark Typhoon on turn 2. I probably won't if we draw a land, but it depends on what we're up against and how good we think the shark will be. Okay, yeah, I think in this situation I'm just going to hold the Shark Typhoon. I think we can get value out of it later. And I don't feel the need to, like, dig towards a specific answer as fast as possible against just a tapped land. Hopefully they play a Signet or something and we can DAC it. I mean, well, Daki would be nice, but Teferi it. Okay, against just pass, I think I'm not going to jam the Teferi. Let's just play Lingering Souls. This is very good against counter magic. Also pretty good against opposing planeswalkers. Like if they play Oko or something, we could actually race it here. Man, lots of Loran decks here. So they now have all colors except for red. And they play something that is very weak to Teferi. Do we want to play Takenuma? If we play Takenuma, it opens up the possibility of Bloodchief's Thirst next turn. I think I will do it, especially since we just need black mana. And we could also hold it. So if we... I'm just going to play into Daze, I think. They haven't shown us Daze. Okay, yeah, they don't have Daze, so we'll bounce. Hopefully we draw like a Creeping Tar Pit. We don't. Given that, I think I will put the Takenuma into play. Hit for 2 and pass. And now if they just replay the Courser, that's totally fine. They play land first, so they're probably not playing Courser. Skyclave Apparition my Teferi. That is totally fine. We already got our card out of the Teferi, and now we can just block that Skyclave with our souls. Since we played the Swamp or the Black Source last turn, we can play Island and hold up and flash this back while still holding up Mana Drain. So this way we get to hit them for 2, and I mean, they're at 16. We have a solid Air Force. We could definitely just sneak a quick win here before the game really gets set up. Normally we're not a tempo-y deck, but Lingering Souls is some real pressure. If they play the Courser, do we Mana Drain? I don't care that much about the Courser, but it would give us a lot of mana to make a huge Shark. And Courser represents life gain. It kind of depends if we want to try and win a long game or kill them quickly. And I think in this spot, especially if they pay more life here with Horizon Canopy, I like going for the quick kill. Balance. So if that resolves, we would sack a land, sack 3 souls, they would discard 1 card. I think this is worth a Mana Drain. Courser's coming down, but they already played their land. Probably do not want to attack here. Alright, Chrome Mox is a pretty terrible draw, but I think we're just going to make a big Shark. Yeah, that seems fine. We could also hardcast Shark Typhoon, and if I had like Treasure Cruise or something in my hand, I might do that. But with not much action, that doesn't seem worth it. So we'll make a 6/6, draw a card. Muldrifter's a good one. Then we'll hit them for 4 in the air and pass. So we have 10 damage in the air. We're threatening to win even through them gaining a life, which they can do off that tropical island. They have 5 cards and 6 mana, so there's a lot that they could do here, but against most things we'll still be ahead. Ooh, Oko on top, that's a little scary. Although it's kind of bad against our board, since we're going wide. Ooh, Palace Jailer is... I mean, it's good against our Shark token, but it's pretty bad against Lingering Souls. They hit for 4, that's fine. Soul Ring, interesting. So let's play Soul Ring, play Muldrifter. Okay, and now, do we want to send... How many of the souls do we send? I think I'm just going to send 1 and make sure we can stay the Monarch. This does mean they can play Oko, but we have Elspeth next turn. Elspeth outpaces Oko pretty easily. Maybe we're supposed to send 2 in case they have a removal spell, but luckily they don't. So we become the Monarch, and we have 4 blockers. Do we want to oust this Courser of Kruphix? I think I will. It's kind of close, but at this point, I'm not as much going for the quick win. Oko represents a lot of life gain. This just slows them down and makes it a lot harder for them to become the Monarch. And we draw Remand. Really good pickup. Do we want to Remand the Oko? They can replay it. Or they're playing something else. Interesting. So So we know that they have a tapped land and an Oko and an Azorius Signet. They also have 3 unknowns. Alright, Signet into Oko. And then I'm actually really happy they played the Signet because now they're not going to be able to replay the Oko, assuming they only have the tapped land. Oh, Thragtusk. Okay. Definitely going to remand their 5-drop. So they're holding Oko, Thragtusk, Courser's on top, and then there was the tapped land. Ooh, okay. So let's just play our things. So starting with Ashiok, we'll take out that Courser. And then we'll just jam the Elspeth. And I'll hit them with like 2 of these. I don't care that much about damage because they're going to be gaining a lot of life with the Thragtusk. We maybe could have attacked with more flyers. I definitely want to leave back at least 1 flyer in case they have like Elspeth, Knight Errant or something. But maybe we could have, we probably should have left back 2 and attacked with 1 more Spirit. But that's not really the axis on which this game will be won or lost. Like they can, Prime Time. Okay, do they have Field of the Dead? They don't. Alright, this seems fine then. Unfortunately, we don't quite have lethal. Maybe I played too conservatively by leaving these spirits back. Okay. Very happy just to gang up on this Palace Jailer. Fractured Identity. Don't mind if I do. Hit you the Ashiok. Fractured Identity or Prime Time to get 2 man lands. This might draw the concession. Okay, not yet. Alright, let's grab Celestial Colonnade and Creeping Tar Pit. Pretty good value. We'll plus this again. Hit them with everything except 1 flyer. I don't think 5 and 6 are noticeably different, especially when they have Thragtusk. Then we'll drop this wall into play. Digging for mana drain, or for, I guess those are both of our counter spells. So I don't think there's any more counter magic we could find. Alright, Past Preordain. Sure. I'll just keep adding to the board. And Creeping Tar Pit is a lethal attacker next turn, so even if they sweep our board, we're fine. And with even though we've drawn so many extra cards, because of Ashiok, we only have 1 extra card in our library. Or 1 fewer card in our library. So they have Oko, Thragtusk, and 3 unknowns. With 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. We're insulated against Craterhoof because we just have so many blockers. Main phase Cycle Ketria Triumph. Pretty weak line. So they're playing some sort of Bant mid-range deck. They have Ancestral Recall. They have some good cards. Palace Jailer is definitely one we'll need to be aware of. But it seems like this is kind of just another mirror match, but where we have better cards. So don't mind that. I think what we're afraid of is their semi-aggressive draws. If they have Skyclave Apparition into Palace Jailer, and we just can never catch up, that's the way they win. But we take down game 1 pretty easily. Do we want to make any changes here? Land tax on the draw seems fine. We didn't see that much that Loran is good against, I think. I guess they had the Signet. They have Oko. Do we want Repeal against Oko? I think I'm going to play Repeal over Loran in this matchup. Kind of close. And do we want... Maybe we don't play Chromox. It's better on the draw, but still, this is more for facing combo and aggro. It's not as much what I want against control. I think I'll bring in 1 Treasure Cruise, which I think will give us some good value. The game will go long, and we actually do end up filling our graveyard pretty quickly. So this seems fine. It's bad against their most aggressive draws, I guess. Okay, great hand. Lots of cheap removal and Kaito for some value. Plus we have all our colors. And our opponent's on a mulligan. We don't have Soul Ring or Fractured Identity or any broken cards, but still a very strong hand. Please be a creature. Dang. Okay. Good start from the opponent. If they have turn 2 Oko, we're going to lose. Soul Ring? Oh, we called it! That's awesome. Alright, I'll play that turn 1 Soul Ring. That's better than Utopia Sprawl, but we don't have double black, so if they do have the turn 2 Oko, we cannot easily kill it. They might just elk our Soul Ring. Okay, they don't... Okay, Blade Splicer, that's fine. I think I'm going to play Kaito in minus here. We could kill this Golem, but I'm fine taking a hit. This gets our card draw going faster. There's also an argument to just plussing, since we have some excess planes we don't really need, but I still think it's better to make the 1/1 here. And do we trade the Ninja with a Blade Splicer if they attack? That's actually kind of tempting. I think I will. Okay, they don't want that, so playing the Ninja, in addition to letting us draw a card next turn, also lets us save 1 damage. Alright, they just passed. That's great. Memory Deluge is also great. Hopefully we can find a blue source off this Kaito. Repeal. Great draw. Let's go for... Just repeal on the token now. We can play around Mana Leak. Okay, no Mana Leak. Alright. Not exactly... Our mana is a bit awkward here. We don't have double black or double blue, but... Still a good position. Kaito can take 1. That's fine. Alright. Now do they play Thragtusk? Thragtusk is relatively good against our removal, but it's also just kind of slow. It doesn't really impact the board that much. Yeah, like I don't care about the 5 life. That doesn't draw cards at all. Okay, so we'll attack for 1 again. Draw another card. Which one of these do we want to play here? I think I'm going to play Rafine's Tower, so we have the option of playing Bloodchief's Thirst next turn. And we'll pass with a remand up. So they can kill our Kaito here, but that's fine. Kaito made this 1/1, drew us 2 cards, prevented some, choked up a lot of damage in the end. 6 damage. Okay, I think it's worth a remand here. Treasure Cruise, that should be pretty good this game. Man, we have a lot of card draw. Okay, let's play the Wall of Omens. Then we'll play Colonnade and pass with Mystic Confluence up. And I think I'm honestly going to leave this Ninja back to block the Blade Splicer. I don't care about 1 damage here. So we're holding Courser, which we don't really care about. They send the Thragtusk. Do we chump block with a wall? Or with a... I'll just chump block with a Ninja token, I think. Kaito has now saved us 11 life and drawn 2 cards. Okay, Wall of Roots is fine. They can play Wall of Roots into Courser. And then we can go for Winds of Abandon if we want to. which would sweep their board, but it also gives them a lot of lands. Kind of close. I don't love ramping them so much in their Primeval Titan deck. Let's see what we draw. If we don't play something that plays to the board well, oh, we do not draw something that plays to the board well. Okay, those are some pretty bad hits. Honestly, I think I'm going to go for the Winds of Abandon. It's kind of close, but they only have 2 cards. Yeah, I think that's worth it. Unless we draw Elspeth or Gideon, or maybe Lingering Souls. Okay, just more lands. It's kind of insane mana flood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. So, do we play around like a miscalc? I guess we do. I don't think there's any reason not to here. So we'll play land. Oh, playing against a fan. That's always fun. Alright, they cycle this Ketria Triumph, draw Force. I'm kind of happy to be shuffling so they don't draw this Primeval Titan. And now, what do we do about this beast? We have the Wall of Omens, which is a really good blocker for it. Or we could oust. I think I'm going to oust. It's kind of close, but this is better for mana efficiency, and I think just having a clear board is where we want to be when we have all this stuff. So, great position. We can play Treasure Cruise for 2 mana next turn, and we also have Muldrifter and Bloodchief's Thirst. So normal cards are not a problem here. What we need to worry about is some sort of upheaval type shenanigans. So we want to find that. If we found Mana Drain, I think it would be pretty much over. So that is our goal. Dig for Mana Drain as much as possible. Okay, discard Skyclave Apparition, which is a reasonable draw there. So what is this, Primetime? Elesh Norn. Okay, that's not too bad. They're 7-drop trades with our 4-drop. Good exchange for us. Then we'll gem Muldrifter. Also grab one of our last couple planes. We still have this nice 1 mana draw 3 in our hand, but not playing that this turn. Okay, there's Elspeth too. Definitely looking really good. They only have 1 card. Like Ugin or something is not a problem. I don't really see them having any infinite combo or anything. Ooh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Why do we keep on being 1 mana short? Okay, so we'll Treasure Cruise, delving everything away except for Memory Deluge. Okay. Teferi. Plus into Elspeth. Solid turn. We drew 3 cards and then put 2 planeswalkers into play, one of which draws cards and shuts down their instance, and one of which dominates the board. So I guess Craterhoof is the other thing we want to insulate ourselves against. We want to put ourselves in a position where we're minimally exposed to Craterhoof and upheaval. Interesting. So they could have hit one of our planeswalkers for 4, but I guess that doesn't really do much because both of our planeswalkers are at 5 right now. What's this last card? It needs to be something crazy. Okay, Solitude should be fine. Pretty good turn from the opponent, but I still think they probably should have just hit our Elspeth down to 1. But I'll take this. We can Fractured Identity to steal their Elspeth. Okay, I'm going to Preordain Digging for Mana Drain. I think I'll keep them both and play the Ponder. Still digging for Mana Drain. Okay, I think that's better, honestly. So, but Shark Typhoon, well, yeah, we'll draw the Ashiok. Then we'll go plus Ashiok. And plus this. And Fractured Identity, they're Elspeth, so they can't give any of their things flying. Yeah. I also just want to have 4 Planeswalkers in play. And we'll play this tapped, pass turn. Looking like a pretty solid situation for us. We don't have attacks because of their Solitude, but I think that's fine. If they top that Craterhoof, are we dead? That would be 16 points of pump, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 26 total points of power. We have 11 points of blocking, so we would survive. Kind of funny how this one soldier is a little bit different. If they have Upheaval, we have Soul Ring, so we can rebuild fairly quickly. This graveyard is so powerful. So is our Exile Zone, frankly. Some of these removal spells are kind of mid. They're like, there's way better versions of these, but I'll take it. Fractured Identity, my Elspeth. Okay, okay. We can kill that. But it's still, I mean, that's a strong line. And if they somehow make it to game 3, it'll be good to know about the Fractured Identity. But our plan is we can animate the Colonnade, give it plus 3/3 with Elspeth, and then kill their Elspeth. And they're out of cards, so we know that that's safe. They're debating if they want to trade Solitude with 2 1/1s. I think it's fine either way. Okay, let's plus the Ashiok. We hit their Palace Jailer. Also Balance and Oko. Wow, all good cards there. So we'll play land. Animate this. Give the Colonnade plus 3/3 and flying. Come in for lethal on the Elspeth, and then I'll send like a few of these at them, but leave a few back. And if they want to trade down on the board, that's totally fine. They just take it. I think I'll just kill one of their soldiers with Teferi, draw a card. And then we'll drop a fat Gideon into play. I wanted to have 5 Planeswalkers, but now we only have 4. That's okay. Craterhoof would kill us now. Oh wait, no, we have Gideon, so Craterhoof would kill Gideon now. All of Omens, they're cantripping, down to 7 cards in their library. We're pressuring them from many different angles. They also have to send all their things at Gideon, so we can, if okay, they just say GG's, sure. We were in a good position there. Very, very solid performance from this deck. I mean, it helps that we drew Soul Ring. Yeah, we had Soul Ring on turn 1, so asterisk every win that comes with that. But this deck seems great so far. We're yet to drop a game. Also, I'm pretty sure, yeah, this would be 3 in a row if we were to pull this off. I just got one with Storm, actually. It was a Tinker Bolas' Citadel Storm deck. I was playing, like, Esper mid-range with Tinker, and then I was like, wait a second, we can just pivot into Storm, like, super late in the draft. We got Yawgmoth's Will, Tinker. Actually, I'll just pull up a deck list. I had, took a screenshot of it. Yeah, this was the deck that we just trophied with. It was pretty sweet. I started with, like, Palace Jailer, Vindicate, Sundering Titan, like way more mid-rangey with Imperial Seal. But then like pretty late into the draft, I was like, wait a second. So we got Tendrils, Yawgmoth's Will, Brain Freeze. The mana was a bit sketchy. We kind of needed Bolas's Citadel to generate mana, but we had Dark Ritual. Then we also had Thespian Stage, Dark Depths, plus Vampire Hexmage. And with Blightsteel, there's only 2 creatures that have ever been made that can kill in one swing. Blightsteel Colossus and Merit Lage, and we got them both. So that's kind of sweet. And also had the Soulfire Grandmaster Time Lock combo. So all sorts of combos in this butte. And we got the trophy, and we're hoping to make it 3 in a row. We're on the draw, though, but the hand's great. If they do something devastating in the first 2 turns, that would be bad. But I'm happy to see Dark Lake Shores. Yeah, that's fine. What I didn't want to see was, like, Ragavan or something. Let's just top deck Sol Ring again. No such luck. But honestly, that's a pretty good draw. Gives us a removal spell mana. And just means, like, just having this one land in play means every single turn, the game is so much smoother. Okay, I was already going to pass with mana up, but especially now. There's no rush to get the wall into play when they don't have any creatures that we need to block, and we have our land drops. That is great. Let's go to second main, and then play Sol Ring. This is like kind of a weird play, but if we were to need to use Mana Drain, we don't want to get the mana in our second main phase. We want to get it on our first main phase next turn. So whenever you have Mana Drain and you're playing something on your turn, it's typically best practice to go to second main. It can give away that you have Mana Drain, but most people don't pick up on that. Alright, so we're going to cycle the Shark, make a 2/2. We could wait and try and make a bigger one, but I think I like taking the initiative here. And now we can just like, they have to play something into our open mana. Interesting draws. We're going to play Wall of Omens. Let's see, our mana's kind of awkward. We can't play Teferi and hold up double counterspell. We also can't play Wall and hold up double counterspell. I think I'm just going to play the Wall and pass with only 1 counterspell up. That should be fine. Okay, Ponder, not bad, but we'll hold that. Next turn we can Ponder for a land. Fatal Push my Shark is totally fine. I mean, Shark Typhoon was a clean 2 for 1. They suspend Lotus Bloom. Okay. Hopefully we can line up Remand with that. Remand is great against suspend cards. Okay. Yeah, this is looking great. We get to Mana Drain this, make tons of mana. Still have Remand up for later. Okay, let's start with... I think I would rather play Teferi here, actually. Teferi also shuts down their Lotus Bloom. They just concede. All right, so pretty solid start. We're playing against some sort of blue-black deck. Lotus Bloom insinuates combo, but Custodial Lich insinuates fair. So not 100% sure how to interpret that. I think Loran is probably decent. Custodial Lich is a problem. I think I will play Land Tax on the draw again. Do we want to play Loran? Maybe. Do we want to play Shriekmaw? Probably not. It could be good, but so far we've seen black creatures. They might have like a lot of Jace Vryn's Prodigies and stuff like that, but I think in the dark I would rather cut the Shriekmaw and play Hangerback Walker, actually. Or Repeal. Or Treasure Cruise. A lot of reasonable options. We didn't see that much of their deck. Hangerback Walker is good against specifically Custodial Lich, but I think I would rather just have more card draw. Yeah, we'll bring in the Cruise. Okay, really good hand. We can play Land Tax on turn 1. I think I'm just going to fetch a basic Plains This is the awkward thing with Arid Mesa. I wish that this could get another land. I think we did actually pass the Steam Vents at one point, and Steam Vents would be kind of nice here. Or not here, but in this deck, just making Arid Mesa be able to get untapped blue would be nice. But, oh, they have a Mox. That's not fair. Okay, good draw. Actually, if the land tax resolves, it's not a good draw, but it's fine. Play the land tax and pass. And next turn we can put one of our planeswalkers into play. Unfortunately, Chromox can only pitch spells, so we cannot translate these extra lands into value, but still, I like our spot. We'll go like Chromox, pitch Shark Typhoon, play Kaito, probably. Unless they play something we want it to fairy. That's kind of annoying. I don't want to have to discard a card to that, so we'll probably play Kaito now. Oh man, drawing another land there is quite bad. So let's play Swamp, play Chromox pitching Shark Typhoon. And then we'll play Kaito, and Kaito Plus is a good way to filter these lands into value. Alright, pretty rough to land tax for 3 lands and then draw a land for turn and for Kaito. So we put 5 additional lands into our hand this turn. It's fine though, I still think we're in a solid position. Evening Skydiver, steal our Chromox. Okay, that's fine. We can Teferi to bounce the Chromox back to our hand. Granted, we might not get value out of the Chromox, but at least they won't either. So we're going to search for 3 more lands. We're going to have to discard some cards to hand size here, but that's good. I just want to take lands out of the deck. Do we want to take all of the lands out of the deck? Let's see, this would put us up to 10 cards in hand. I think I'm going to leave 1 in because I want to have 1 more to search for next turn. Alright, so let's go Kaito Plus. Discarding probably Concealed Courtyard. And we play land Teferi. Bounce Chromox. And then I'm just going to play it and not pitch anything just because I don't want to discard 2 cards to hand size. Go to our discard and discard 1 card to hand size. And then they can kill one of our planeswalkers, but not both. And our hand is stacked. Unfortunately, like I wish we had more spells to pitch. There's an argument to pitching one of our spells so that we can play Fractured Identity next turn, but all our spells are so good. I wish that some of these lands were non-lands, but it's okay. Alright, so they're going to let us keep our Kaito. That's fine with me. I would prefer to have Kaito than Teferi, frankly. Although maybe they have a bunch of counter magic that is now unlocked. Alright, so let's grab our last basic land out of the deck. We draw another land. That's kind of brutal. Winds of Abandon. Okay, let's just discard a basic land. And then play Island and pass with Memory Deluge up. I think that's better than playing Winds of Abandon here. Alright. All the lands are out of our deck. We should be drawing basically strictly gas from here. We have our land drops through turn 7 lined up. Say kill our Kaito, hit us for 2. Our life total is still pretty healthy. Next turn we have Fractured Identity. Lotus Bloom, alright. And then they pass. Oh, whoops, I meant to play Memory Deluge. That was not great. I think we actually just play Wall of Omens now, though. Preordain, okay. This way we can sequence our Colonnade into play without a problem. Okay, this is bad for sure. I guess I'll keep Loran. Killing their Mox is probably pretty good. I'll play this and pass. And next turn we have a few different options. We could just jam Elspeth if they're tapped out. We could also double spell with Winds of Abandon plus Loran. But we don't really care about their board, honestly. If we can block this Graveyard Trespasser, it's not that scary. And if they ever tap out for something that is scary, we have Fractured Identity. Okay, I think I'm just going to play Loran and hold up Remand here. Yeah, it's kind of close, but we'll do this. Loran, and then we can... I think I'm just going to chump block the Graveyard Glutton. It's kind of a cool name. Graveyard Trespasser turns into Graveyard Glutton. I'm such a sucker for alliteration. We don't have any alliteration here. That's pretty tragic. Okay, counterbounce draw. That's probably... So we could remand our own spell, but I think in this spot it's better to remand theirs when they're a bit constrained on mana. Oh, whoops, wait. I did remand my own spell. Oh my gosh, that was not what I meant to do. Whoops. Alright, I'm playing a little sloppy here, but I think we're still in a good spot. We can go land, Sol Ring, pass. We're taking... So this is going to flip back. Maybe this play actually is better. Given that we drew Sol Ring, it's definitely better. Without drawing the Sol Ring, it's kind of close, but now they don't have Mystic Confluence in their hand, which is a pretty big game. And we can take 5, but their deck is not super aggressive, so I'm fairly comfortable being at 7. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, potentially 9 mana. A lot of the good things we can do with 9 mana. I think we do want to remand this Lotus. Okay, they play Jace. That's something we need to take care of. So we will Fractured Identity their Jace. In the Crypt Breaker, okay. So I think our plan is to go Wall of Omens, Fractured Identity, and hold up Remand. Or wait, no, is it better to Loran? We could go Fractured Identity, Loran, Remand. That's probably best. Oh wait, no, we're 1 mana short of being able to do that. So we're gonna have to just let them have their Mox this turn. I think that's okay. And then next turn we have Winds of Abandon. Okay, yeah. Let's Fracture Identity Jace. Do we want to Brainstorm? I don't think so. I think let's just plus on them. See what they're drawing. Factor Fiction. Okay, that's a pretty good one. Let's put that one on the bottom. And we play Wall of Omens. Mana Drain. Okay, interesting. Oh wait, we don't have Remand. Why did I think we had Remand? Do we want a Shock to hold up Mana Drain? Shocking is pretty bad. I don't love being at 5 here. But I do love having Mana Drain up, and I think that's worth it. So I'll Shock and pass. Yeah. So if they have a way to kill this Wall of Omens, we are dead on board, but I think with Mana Drain we should be okay. They only have 3 cards. The fact that we had to Shock there is quite bad, though. Way long ago we could have discarded a Water Grave instead of a land. I wanted the second black source, but I do wish that I just had a basic here. Okay, they have the Fatal Push, so unfortunately we have to use our mana drain on this. Yeah, maybe this was just a bad play. There's a couple different ways we could have gone more conservatively. But if they don't kill us this turn and we get to untap, I really like our position. Hero's Downfall, alright. Unfortunate, man, that was poor play. We should have won that game. But we get to be on the play for game 3. Yeah, my bad. So what should we have done in hindsight? Maybe we're supposed to not even care about their Jace and just play Elspeth. Close play. Alright, I'm sorry about that. We'll play tight this game. We'll make sure we can get that dub. Let's take out the land tax. Repeal is good against Thieving Skydiver. Putridum seems okay. I mean, it's not good against a lot of their stuff. Yeah, I think I'd rather have Repeal than that, but I think I'm just going to run this deck. Yeah, let's run it like this. And we'll just play a little bit more conservatively, make sure our life total doesn't get too low. Should be a good matchup. It's kind of like a mirror match, but we have better cards. Okay, I'll keep this. Turn 3 Ashiok is pretty nice. It's not broken, and we don't have white mana, but I like getting the tar pit down. Yeah, I think it's definitely a keep, even though it's far from optimal. Okay, Colonnade was one of the better draws there. A white source that also represents a legitimate threat. Okay, Suspicious Stowaway. I'm happy they tapped out. Now we can play Ashiok. We have answers for this, but this turn we're definitely getting the Ashiok down. They do have Hero's Downfall. Like, it's not like this is just GG at all, but it's pretty good. It puts pressure on them. They need to deal with this pretty quickly. Do they have the Downfall? They don't. Okay, this is fine. So we have a couple options here. We want to kill the Gix for sure. We could also use Winds of Abandon to take out both of their creatures, but I think I would rather just take out the Gix and save the Winds of Abandon for something scarier. So let's plus again. We take a Stody Lich. That's a good one. Then we'll cast this to kill their Gix and pass turn. And the Suspicious Stowaway on its own, if it's not flipped, is not that scary. We'll see if they hit us or the Ashiok. They go at Ashiok, okay. It's fine, still at a solid 6 loyalty. That also means they don't have a Hero's Downfall in their hand. Okay, that's fine. So one option is just put Lich into play, but I think I'm going to keep plussing here. I don't, like, if the Monarchy is in play, their deck is just way better suited for that sort of game than ours is. Now we'll preordain and then pass with animating Creeping Tar Pit up. Ooh. Okay. That's a good one. Is it better to do that than to play than to use Creeping Tar Pit? Probably, because they're not killing our Ashiok either way. And this also gives us some looks to find a counterspell for the Lotus Bloom. If we found Teferi, that would be just devastating. And we also might be able to find just a Remand. Alright, I'm fine with Ashiok taking 4 here. Again, I would trade the Tar Pit if we didn't have Memory Deluge, but that's a good thing to do with our mana. Okay, they play Pack Rat. We have Winds of Abandon to sweep up this problem. Okay, Remand Teferi is like best case scenario. So let's plus again. Play Teferi. I will remand their spell here instead of our own Teferi because, oh, it resolves. Okay. Interesting situation. I don't want to lose the Ashiok. We could minus to bounce the Graveyard Trespasser. That's the only way to make sure that Ashiok survives, because they can make another rat. Well, another option is just plus Teferi. So they're probably making a rat in a turn. Okay, what I'm going to do here is plus Teferi. Play Plains, so we have the Winds of Abandonment as an option, and pass. And then, depending on what they do, what I want is to be able to overload this Winds of Abandonment with Teferi in play to insulate against counter magic. I think I'm actually okay with losing the Ashiok here if they just send everything at Ashiok. Oh, Tendrils of Agony is not a card I was expecting to see. I don't think you should ever play Gix and Tendrils of Agony in the same deck. So our hope is that they just put everything into killing Ashiok, and then we just sweep their board, and we can probably win from there pretty easily. Okay, 2 rats at Ashiok, and then the other things at Teferi. They get to exile our Memory Deluge, but that's fine. Okay, I think I'm just going to let this happen. We could use our Winds of Abandon now, but I think we really want this Winds of Abandon to sweep their board. Okay, not the best draw, but not the worst either. So we can play this at instant speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, so we'll just drop this into play tapped, pass, and then at the beginning of combat on their turn, we'll go for it. I don't want them to get the Graveyard Glutton trigger because we want to leave the Ashiok in the graveyard, and then next turn we can discard Takenuma to bring back the Ashiok. Not bad. Exile all 5 of your creatures. I certainly do not care about them getting 5 lands, and we're insulated against counter magic with the Teferi, so there's not really anything they could do here. They find 2 lands, so they're down to 9 cards in library, and then they play Jace. Okay, Jace is not scary here. They're going for the race. We could attack their Jace. Oh, Creeping Tar Pit's a bit annoying. I think it's best just to get Ashiok onto the board, though, in this situation. So let's plus. Fetch a Plains, just to make sure we don't run out of fetchable lands. Channel Takenuma, and I think almost definitely we're just definitely getting Ashiok here. And we'll play Ashiok. We don't have Remand up for this turn, which I wish we did, but I still think this is definitely the right line. I guess if they have Raids or Risen Nightmare. Okay, weird. If they have Thassa's Oracle, we could die. In fact, we almost will die for sure. But I don't think they're playing Thassa's Oracle. So they're going to go to 4 cards in library after this brainstorm. So Ashiok would put them down to 1, which would mean they have to win on their next turn. We're at 18, so there's no real way they could do it unless it's something weird. Okay, Swift End kill the Ashiok. Fair enough. So they get a couple more turns. Okay, what do we want to do here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. They just concede. Alright, that makes it easy. Okay, so we got the trophy. That's 3 in a row. That feels good. Although I guess this is the only one of those that I recorded, unfortunately. Our deck was sweet. I played pretty sloppily, especially in game 2 of match 3. Got just a little cocky and let myself die for no real reason. Like, they had we passed with Counterspell up, and they had to have 2 ways to kill our thing, but they did, and I think we could have just not put ourselves in a position where we lose to that. So that was a bit of a misplay, but overall, this deck was great. We had Sol Ring and Chrome Mox for good acceleration. We had 3 2-mana Planeswalkers that could take over the game. We had some broken cards and Fractured Identity. Good card draw with Memory Deluge. 2 counterspells is not amazing, but when you also have Ponder and Preordain and like other ways to draw cards, it feels like you have more because you can find them much more consistently. The mana base was passable, not great, but the fact that black was a relatively small splash did help. Treasure Cruise was great out of the board. Land Tax was very good, actually. It plays well with Kaito to discard the extra lands. Overall, just a really, really solid deck. It's not perfect. I wouldn't have minded a bit better fixing and 1 or 2 more counters. But this is how you build a good Esper deck. Like, good low curve, fairly threat dense, good card draw, good interaction. Just get all the cards. That's what I advise to you. Get past the Sol Ring 3rd pick. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.